So tourism is an experience, and it's intangible, and it requires research into behaviours. And there's only so much of that you can capture through a survey, observation, or interview, traditional qualitative methods. So through using the lab, we're able to really get an idea of what's exciting people, what they're likely to respond to. So if we're going to design a tourism promotion campaign, for example, it gives us an idea of the kinds of features of a destination that we would that might appeal to people, the kind of things that people aren't interested in, and the kind of experiences that excite people. But also, there's many different ways of looking at the tourism industry. So for example, I do a lot of research in crisis and disaster management. So using the lab equipment enables me to get a really good idea of how people feel towards certain events, their risk, their fear, and understand exactly how these disastrous or crisis events are having an impact on people's travel behaviour. The study I'm doing at the moment, we're looking at Indigenous tourism, and Indigenous tourism is a great product that we have in Australia that is generally run by and involves our Australian Indigenous people, so our Aboriginals and our Torres Strait Islanders. And what we've found is the demand statistics that are generally generated by self-report surveys indicate that people are more than willing to participate in an Indigenous experience, but the actual story is very different in that there is a very low demand. So people say they'll participate, but they're not. And that's what we refer to as the attitude behaviour gap. So using the iMotions equipment, so we use eye tracking coupled with EEG to get a better understanding of how people are really feeling towards these experiences. So they watch a video, and then we're able to see, firstly, what is appealing to them in that particular advertisement, what features of an Indigenous experience is most likely to appeal to our tourism segments, but also what's likely to deter them. So what is it they're not that interested in, or what is it that's causing them to have an aversive reaction? And then by measuring their, using EEG to look at frontal lobe asymmetry, but then the eye tracking enables us to see exactly what they're looking at that time when they felt that positive or negative response. And that's invaluable because we can go back to industry and say, okay, you want to evoke positive emotions and make people feel good about your product, feature these things, avoid these. I just want to say also about working with iMotions, so my experience with working with iMotions, and I think I've never worked with a company that are so responsive and so approachable and so helpful. It's not like there's always someone on the other end of that helpline. There's always someone that responds to your queries and your questions and your struggles, and that just makes working with the equipment so much more easier because it's like this comfort that you have that there's always someone there to help. Whereas, larger companies, imagine going to IBM and saying my laptop's not working. You know what I mean? You just